and welcome to Ask Me About K-Pop, the essential guide for recent converts and seasoned fans alike. My name is Shannon, and I am doing my best today with my best friend Angelica. Angelica, how are you today?
Significantly better than you're doing, my dear. You sound terrible.
I know, I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm going to let Angelica take a lot of the lead this week so that you don't have to hear too much of this. I'm very ill, and we went to that concert last night, and I screamed too much.
We had to. They were all so good.
Because it was really, really fun. So let's talk about that concert, like up top.
Well, today's episode is about concerts.
Yes.
So it's perfect timing for us to talk all about this, especially because we went to the Korea Times Music Festival, which is held every year here in LA since 2003. It's at the Hollywood Bowl, and it was actually the first time that Korean artists appeared at a concert outside of Asia when they first started in 2003.
Wow.
So it was historically significant as well as super fun.
Yes, it was super, super fun. We had all of those beautiful glow sticks, and I just wanted to thank the people who made donations. So thank you to Steph, Alicia, and Nick. We appreciate it so much.
Thank you so much. And so did the fans that came and got them.
Yeah.
It took us maybe, if we hadn't gotten them tangled up, I bet we could have gotten rid of them in 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been so easy.
But we wanted to. We had these little cards printed out that plugged to the podcast and whatever, and explained how to use a glow stick if people don't know how to activate them or whatever. So we tied them. We had strings that matched the colors, so we'd know what was what. They were all tied up, but then they got into a horrible knot, and then a bunch of really nice people were like, "Do you want help?"
Women just appeared and were like, "Do you want me to help you untangle that? I work in jewelry. I'm good at knots." And we were like, "Yes."
Yeah. So they stuck around forever and helped us untangle.
And you know
stuff.
what I also really appreciated were the people who would because the ones that got the most tangled were the red velvet and the EXID ones, and people would come by and say "Oh, can I get a red velvet glow stick?" And we would say yes, but they're all tangled up, so we have to wait. Those will take a minute, and they just politely waited. One guy waited for that EXID one for 20 minutes.
Yeah,
he just chilled.
It was really nice.
Yeah,
Everybody was really nice.
Everyone was really nice.
They were good glow sticks. The pink ones were disappointing though.
Yeah, they were just not very bright. So I feel like
hard.
you couldn't. They were the right color. They just didn't.
They didn't glow. Yeah, that was a bummer.
Yeah.
But anyway,
the show itself.
So the concert itself.
Yeah, so the Korea Times Music Festival is a neat event because it combines a variety of different types of Korean musical acts.
Yeah.
The first year that we went because SHINee was playing, and they also had AOA and Red Velvet, and then they had a bunch of trot singers. They had
there was the interpretive dance and the knife. The knife
and
guys.
The knife routine. So this year was more just music. They only had one b-boy team that came out kind of
in
during
the middle of intermission.
That seemed lame to have them go when everyone was in the bathroom. But for the most part, it was just trot singers, some acoustic singers, soloists, and then the 5 groups that we've mentioned before, which were EXID, Red Velvet, NCT 127, B2B, and Rain.
Yes. NCT came out first.
Yes, very first.
Shook everyone.
No one was prepared.
No one was ready.
It was still light out.
Yeah, it was crazy. But they were adorable, and they had so many fangirls who were losing their minds, and it was really cute.
Their glow sticks went first.
Yes. And we had the most NCTs of anything. Those went fast. They were great.
So each group, there were 11 acts in total, and each group performed only 3 songs.
Yes.
So that the show went from about 6 to 11 o'clock.
And what else? More highlights.
I have to say that all of the groups that we were there to see and support were fantastic.
Yeah.
EXID came out and they did Do Do Do, they did Lady, they did Up and Down.
Yeah.
So they covered all the bases and they were fantastic. They looked beautiful. Red Velvet the same. Who is it? Joy was not there?
Yeah, Joy is filming a drama, so she hasn't been with them on tour in a while.
So the other 4 ladies were there. They did, what did they do?
They did Peekaboo, and they did Red Flavor.
Red Flavor, Peekaboo, and Bad Boy. NCT, like we said, was great. Rain was excellent. He closed the show. And then, B2B was really good too. I was not familiar with a lot of their music, but they were really fun because they had a lot of fangirls in the audience brought their official B2B light sticks. Yeah. And so that was really cool.
They were cute.
I was proud that we got the glow stick color right. It like matched well with their official light sticks. But for me, my favorite was Rose Motel. Yeah. I loved them.
They really stole the show.
So good. They were so good. Rose Motel is this group that I had actually heard of before we saw this concert because they appeared on a show called Beatles Code, I think is the name of it. It's like a variety interview show hosted by a member of Super Junior and some other dude. And they brought TVXQ and Rose Motel. They were like the 2 guests. So I had actually seen this group before. But they're like 5 dudes in their like late 30s, early 40s, and they do kind of like pop rock, I guess, like sort of just classic rock and roll, really. Yeah. And but they were so energetic, and the lead singer came out and introduced themselves as the Korean sex band.
He was like, "We are a Korean sex band," and everybody was laughing really hard. And then after the next song, one of the other like members was like, "Just to clarify, he meant sexy. He meant sexy. He like wanted to," but we just kept being like, "Korean sex band."
Yes, they were so good.
They were super good.
They were wearing these like bright red matching suits with these huge pink flowers on them. They were fantastic. I fully recommend checking out Rose Motel or watching them live at least.
Yeah, I was also really stoked because this trot singer Park Hyun Bin was there, and he did like his hits like Shabang Shabang, and I was dying. I like trot. We can talk about trot music another day down in the future, but like it's so fun.
It's like I think we've mentioned it before, maybe in an episode or two, or I don't know. I think we've mentioned it before, but trot music is like an older style of Korean music, of like Korean pop music. Yeah. And actually, when we were passing out glow sticks, there was an older lady who came up to us and asked if we had any glow sticks for the trot singers, and we were like, "Oh, they don't have fan colors."
Sorry, they don't have fan colors. And then I heard that same lady, because she was like sort of standing near us, like another like lady came by and was like, "Do they have glow sticks from Park Hyun Bin?" And she said to her like, "They don't have fan colors." And I was like, "Oh, good, we're we're spreading the word." And I also like completely died because one of my favorite like Korean singers, he like doesn't count as K-pop because he's not K-pop. He's just like a
Josh Groban, like an adult powerhouse,
an adult contemporary vocalist or whatever. His name is Kim Bum-soon. He's incredible, and he did like everything I wanted him to do last night, including a crazy club remix of my favorite trot song. Yeah, and it was so good.
It was great. Every single performance was fantastic.
Yeah, it was a really, really good time. And if you want to see any of it on our Instagram, I've made it a story highlight. So it will like always be on the top of our Instagram page if you want to relive our night through my little Instagram.
Yeah, and there's a clip from pretty much every performer. Not every song, but definitely every performer.
Yeah, I tried to tried to document it while still having fun and dancing around and not holding my camera.
I thought you did a good job.
Oh, thank you.
I do also appreciate that when Rain is performing, you can hear both of us scream, "Take your top off!"
Everyone was laughing at us, but it's true. It's what we wanted.
And he didn't.
When he took off his jacket to reveal that he was wearing... I know, but he was wearing a kind of like overall-y vest. He likes to wear like military vests.
He was like definitely throwing back to his Rain's Coming World Tour, which we watched on DVD, which I own on DVD.
It's good.
It's pretty good, but it is also military themed. But he takes it off a lot in that concert. But he only had 3 songs to like heat up the place, so maybe that's not enough time. Anyway, that was great. That was fun. That was that.
Yeah.
So now, in a segue that's not so smooth, today we're going to talk about different types of concerts.
Yeah, we're going to keep talking about concerts. K-pop concerts aren't that different from like other, a concert is a concert, but there's a couple
concert.
things that are like unique or interesting that we feel like is worth talking about. So
Yeah. So we'll start with our vocabulary words,
which
are concert, fan meet, and showcase. So they're all English words. That will be easy for you. And they're really just slightly different types of performances that different K-pop groups will have.
Yes.
So a concert is a stadium tour. It usually accompanies the release of an album. That's pretty standard. Like what you think of when you think of a concert is a concert. They usually last for like 3 hours, and they'll obviously take place like all over Korea, and then they'll go to abroad as well.
World tour or whatever. Just like a big old spectacle of a concert.
Yeah, and the world tour locations really vary. Like sometimes they'll call it a world tour and they'll really only tour in like Asia. And sometimes they'll do a world tour and they hit like a couple of North American and like South American cities. And sometimes they do a world tour and they really do go all over the place.
Europe gets skipped a lot. I know that's like definitely a big complaint in the like international fan community is that like Europe gets skipped a lot. And that's not fair.
I mean, so does Africa, let me tell you.
Oh,
they
that's
never
true.
Go there.
That's true.
They never go there. And they are starting to go to the Middle East more often now. So I think that they're, like, as K-pop is growing an international fan base, I think we'll start to see them exploring
actual world tours
more
happening.
continents for sure. The stadium tours, like, can pretty much include anything from their discography. Like they have up to 4 hours to fill.
Right.
And so they will have a wide catalog for their music. They'll usually include like remixes. And I think the coolest part about the concert stadium tours is that because they have so much time, they usually groups will usually plan for members to do solo stages or special stages. So like, for example, we talked about when To Anyone first debuted. Their debut stage included, like, each member doing a little solo piece. So that's basically what would happen in a concert, except, like, so let's say the first 3 songs are everybody all together, and then it's just one of them doing a solo. Maybe it's a solo dance, or maybe it's a solo rap, or maybe it's a solo song, or maybe
can be, like, it can get real creative. It's Shiny World 5, Onu tap danced.
To close the door.
That was really cool. I know at an A-Pink concert a little while ago, Bomi did a pole dance and sang Problems by Ariana Grande.
Amazing. Unexpected, but I love it.
So, like, there's all kinds of things can happen. Like, sometimes it really depends. I feel like solo stages are where, like with the boy groups, if someone's going to like take their clothes off and like do some kind of overtly sexy whatever, that happens in a solo stage.
Yep.
But it's funny because I know like Mino, for example, like for their like a couple Shiny World tours in a row was doing the like naked dance thing, and then for one of their Japanese dome tours he then wore like a little spinny baseball cap and had like children and did like a little goofy like Japanese kid song. So they can do anything with these.
And then also in one of those Japanese tours, Key did like a really crazy bondage number where he
in like a leather harness and like whips
and he had like
stuff.
pink hair and he pulled someone from the audience. Like a fan was on stage with him, like essentially getting a BDSM lap dance from Key, and it was crazy.
Yeah. So the range in a solo stage is like all over the place, but it's usually just like showcasing that member or 2 members or whatever, like a talent of theirs. Chanyeol just played drums at the first like EXO tour.
At the most recent one, he does like a rap that he wrote himself or whatever. It's very angsty. Or as I also wrote down one because mostly solo stages will either be like a member covering a song, like you just mentioned Ariana Grande. Some of Mino's songs were like
he did like a Chris Brown
and like an Usher one.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like we said, like Onu did Close the Door. It's like a different version of one of the group's original songs. And sometimes it's an original song that like doesn't exist anywhere else. So there's in EXO's current tour, Kai has a solo called I See You, which is a song that he sings, and it is like a very dramatic dance that he does shirtless, and that doesn't exist. There is no recorded downloadable version of that song that you can buy.
Is it the same with Sehun's solo stage from the current tour where he
Yes.
we gotta go whoa, whoa.
Yeah. That song doesn't exist on any anything either. It's just an excuse for Sehun to take his shirt off.
Yeah.
Which
Who's
is
mad
fine.
at that?
No one's mad at that.
So anyway.
So next vocabulary word is a fan meet.
Yes.
And a fan meet. So, you know what? Before we talk about fan meet, we need to mention Ment.
Okay, yeah. This is just like a term that you'll see around if you ever get a K-pop concert DVD or you're watching a big concert DVD online and you see like the track list, sometimes it will just say MENT, MENT, which I don't know if it's short for comment or mention or something, but it just basically means that they're talking.
Honestly, when I first read that, my immediate thought was that it stood for sentiment.
Oh, yeah. See, there's so many words that have meant in it.
And because it's usually sentimental.
Yeah.
Like it is like the group talking, basically. But it's usually like an introduction, or it comes in the middle when people are changing. It comes as a conclusion, and it's often like each member will take a turn saying like how thankful they are and like how happy they are to be there.
Yeah, but it's just, they're basically just talking, but you'll see around this term meant, and you might be like, what is that? Like, it's just they're talking during a concert.
And so the breakdown of like these three different shows, like concert, fan meet, and showcase, is that a concert is usually like 90% musical performances and like 10% meant, right? So they'll like talk at the beginning, they'll talk at the end, and maybe somewhere in the middle they'll say something. A fan meet has usually about 40% musical performance, and then 60% of the fan meet itself is fan interaction.
Yes.
And that can take the form of a couple different ways, or a couple different things. Some of it is just a meant of them like talking. Usually fan meets have an MC, so they have like a host, and that host will help them to organize like talk segments or interviews or games or skits. Sometimes those games include like fans getting to participate in them. Sometimes it's just the groups like doing silly things while the fan gets to watch. And those are usually like 1 to 2 hours, and they'll do 7 to 10 songs from any of their albums. Like they do usually come in conjunction with the release of a new album, but they don't only perform songs from that new album. Sometimes I read they'll even take fan requests ahead of time to be like, what song would you like to hear at this fan meet? Because it's really the purpose of it is to meet the fans.
Yes. These happen a lot in Korea, but I also think like our listeners, like if you are living somewhere outside of Korea and you get a chance to see a K-pop group, more likely than not, you're going to get to go to a fan meet. Because these concerts, like we were talking about, a lot of the times they have big spectacles involved, like wire work or like stages that move or crazy things that they can't put on a boat and like ship it to America to like do the crazy tour. So most of the time we've gotten to go to 2 fan meets. Luckily, like the first one was we saw Mamamoo, and they called it a Moo party.
Yep. And so it was like to meet the LA fans.
Yeah.
And so
it was in a really small theater, no seats, everyone was standing.
Yep. You weren't allowed to take pictures or record it. Sometimes concerts and fan meets and showcases have really strict filming rules. But this one in particular, like you weren't allowed to film it. And then we also got to see A-Pink do one.
So like at both of them, it was like the group came out and they did like 2 songs, and then the MC came out and was like, hey, I'm your MC. And they did like introduce the group, ask them some questions, blah, 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 like do another song, and like now let's play charades with some members from the audience, or like it's just like it's just definitely more of like a casual kind of atmosphere and less of a like performance. It really is sort of, they want you to feel like you're getting to hang out with them right now.
Exactly. Yeah. The focus is not the musical performances. And they include the fans in a lot of different ways, like the one that we saw for A-Pink. They had held a contest ahead of time for fan cover dances. And so the winner of that contest then, like, in the middle of so let's say that this fan meet was like an hour and a half to 2 hours long. They'll give the girls a break in the middle to go, like, change and maybe drink some water or whatever. And during that, like, quote unquote intermission, it's like 10 minutes, the fan who won, like, this dance cover contest came out on stage and did a dance cover of like an A-Pink medley, and then chatted with the MC for a bit, and then, like, left, and the girls came back.
The MC at that thing was the worst.
Yeah, that sounds very innocent and, like, nice. It actually was very painful to watch as an audience member because the MC was so terrible and awkward. Like, it was awful. He, like, made a flirty joke with her and then asked her her age and found out she was, like, 15 and was like, whoa, just kidding, whoa, ugh.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was very gross.
Horrible. But fan meets in general.
Yeah. But the MC, it was fun. The MC for the Mamamoo one was Esna, who is, like, an artist that they work with sometimes.
Yes.
And she's just, like, from America and a native English speaker. So, like, she made a good MC, but she also had, like, rapport with Mamamoo.
Yeah.
So it, like, made it very friendly, whereas, like, the A-Pink guy was just some guy they had hired who was, like, here.
Ugh.
And he didn't speak
rough.
Korean that well because there were two interpreters on the stage standing behind him having to do the translating work, and he was just being awkward and making it so awkward.
That was rough. That was rough to watch, but still fun to experience.
Fan meets are really fun.
I know, like, Red Velvet, did they already have it, or are they having it soon?
I think it's like this weekend. I think they were here, and I think they're going to Chicago, which was exactly what happened with Shiny. We saw them at this, and then they did a fan meet in Chicago.
Yeah. So they're really fun, and then at the end, they always, like, take a picture with the group.
Yeah.
Or with not the group. They take a picture with the audience. They take, like, a selfie. And they do fun stuff. Like, I know one EXO did, like, a 2 times faster version of Coco Bop or something. Like, it's
at the Shiny one, they played, charades with the audience. At the A-Pink one, they did one of those, like, put like an octopus in a box or whatever,
and like make you put your hand in it. Yeah. Fun stuff. So then the last one that we'll talk about is called a showcase. And this is a mini concert. It's usually only about an hour long. And this is different from a full concert or a fan meet because the purpose of a showcase is to introduce the new album to the public, but it's usually only done by newer groups who don't have a lot of content to pull
off a fan meet or a full concert.
So they're usually will perform only about 5 songs max. There's no talking in it, really. It's like just to perform the songs and be like, here you go. This is the kind of music we make. And there's 2 types. They usually do one for the press and the media, and then they do one specifically for the fans. And they're usually held in smaller locations like a cafe or a small theater. And this is where if they have a fan name or a fan color, like that's where they'll introduce it. It's really like our group just debuted, we put out a full album or a mini album or whatever, like here's our first performance.
Right.
That isn't a music show.
Yeah. I find showcase performances are like all over YouTube, especially if you're in the learning K-pop dances community. Showcase performances end up being like the mirrored versions that are around a lot because it's like a clear, steady like shot of the whole dance. But the weirdest thing about them is the press ones are silent.
Yeah.
So you'll watch, like, I remember when we were learning Good Luck by AOA, I had to use a showcase performance to learn that dance. And they were just, like, dancing their asses off, and then they end the song, and then it's just, like, camera clicks and silence.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, my God, someone clap for them. It feels weird.
It feels horrible because those are the press ones, right? Because, like, the press ones have just, like, a one steady camera, like, in the middle to catch everything. But the audience is seated at little tables. They're not just like, they're not in like a standing mosh pit. They're not in like an auditorium. They're like seated at tables.
With their laptops open or whatever, taking notes.
Taking notes and like taking photographs, and that's why they're there. They're there to document it it, not to enjoy it as a performance, and it's very bizarre to watch.
Yeah, it's just so strange to see the group like finish their pose and nothing
at all. Unless you're 17, because then you get to put on a full-on thing called Carrotland, which was like a showcase and a fan meet, sort of. That's where I think I sent you the BSS performance of Just Do It, where they're performing it outside.
Oh, yeah.
That's the Carrotland showcase.
Okay.
So, like, when they put out their first album, they did this, like, big outdoor concert, basically, that they called a showcase, but was, like, a little bit extra. Because they can. Because they're self-producing and they can do whatever they want. But yeah, that's it. Those are the 3 words.
Cool. I know that you have a lot of cool research about like, record setters and concerts and stuff. But I think one thing we should probably dip back to before you do that is VCRs.
Oh, yeah. That's all the way at the end of mine. So, yes, that's why. Totally. Do you want to throw that on as our last vocabulary word?
Sure. So the last vocabulary word is VCR. Do you know what it stands for? Like,
it literally stands for video cassette recording.
Okay, there's like
that's it.
Okay,
it's the same as.
I didn't
VCR.
know if it was like video concert repacket, like
maybe video concert recording.
Okay, well, these are just. These are not unique to K-pop. I think just calling them VCRs is unique to K-pop. But these are just like pre-recorded videos that are part of the concerts. Or even we watched, there was one at the Mamamoo fan meet, like just having something pre-recorded to throw up on the screen is a thing. But they range from so many types. Like, I remember the first SHINee concert we ever watched was a Japanese SHINee concert, and all the VCRs were just like them in like fake Final Fantasy, like CGI fields, and there's like bubbles and orbs, and they're just like looking at and they're so dramatic. But then there's also like this other type of VCR where they will like, they're all dressed like girls, and it's like a silly skit where they're all girls in a high school. Or they'll do like, some VCRs are like a music video that doesn't exist. They'll play a whole song. And then, like...
Yes, like the special clip that is now the music video for The One for XOCBX. That originally started as a concert VCR, which was called, I found it, Reservoir Idols.
Oh,
like Reservoir
Dogs.
And that music video is like, it is just the song, The One, playing in the background, but it has Chen Baekshi like wandering around in these like goofy sweatsuits, and like Suho plays different characters, like a janitor and like a guy passing out flyers, and then eventually Baekhyun plays a woman, and then they dance in the stadium that you're standing in watching them perform. And so those kinds of VCRs, so like usually, like you said, the one with SHINee that was super dramatic, VCRs can range from anywhere between like 3 to 8 minutes long. There's usually one for the intro of the concert, like when everybody's getting into places and like all the audience is there.
Clock ticking down or whatever.
The lights will go down and the screen comes up and whatever, drama happens. But then there's also ones that come like periodically throughout the concert, because those allow time for set changes and for costume changes. So that's pretty much the purpose of a VCR. Yeah. But they come out and they're really funny. Like SHINee, my favorite one is Woof Woof, because it's like really goofy of them. Like they use their like bling bling zhong hyung characters, and they like pop up with like a little like comic book name caption on it, and then they're like doing silly things like Taemin is trying to like break dance in the street, and Onyu and Mino are like working out, but they're like they'll show you like Mino doing like a 1-finger push-up, and then like at the end of the VCR they like show you another angle of it, and he's like kneeling on his knees and like against a wall, like doing it's really cute. But they have, some of them are really dramatic acting, like we said. Yeah. Some of them are just them like being goofy, and then some of them are actually like behind the scenes footage of them preparing for the concert, which is always fun. So you'll see them like backstage or at a photo shoot or underneath the stage, like right before the show starts, whatever.
But yeah, VCRs are fun. So just wanted to bring that up. before we moved on. But I think you have some fun facts.
So many
concert facts.
So many facts. Okay, so let's see. Let's start with, basically, I just looked up, like, when did K-pop artists start performing outside of Asia? And then I also looked up attendance records.
Cool.
So, like I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, the very first time Korean artists performed outside of Asia was at this Korea Times Music Festival in LA in 2003. After that, it wasn't until 2006 when Rain took 2 of his tours, Rain's Coming and Rainy Day, to U.S. and Australia. He had 3 dates outside of Asia: New York, Las Vegas, and Sydney.
Was it 2006, you said?
2006.
Okay.
That same year, YG Family, their concert, their like whole
company
concert.
Yeah.
They performed in New York, DC, and LA. Then Epic High did 4 U.S. dates in 2009, and also in 2009, Rain brought The Legend of Rainism to Vegas.
Oh, Rain.
And then since then, there's pretty much a K-pop concert every single year in another country.
Yeah,
like they're
now it's
everywhere
pretty
all the
standard.
Time. Yeah. Okay, so attendance records is the most impressive, I think. There's 2 different types of records, basically, that are kept for concerts. One is the single audience attendance at just one venue, and then the other is like the total audience for the entire tour.
Oh, okay.
So of single audience attendance at one venue, out of the top 25, 9 of the records belong to TVXQ.
Wow. And is this of K-pop groups or just like
K-pop
artists?
Groups.
Okay.
Specifically K-pop groups. So TVXQ holds 3 of the top 4 spots. The number 1, they sold out 75,000 seats at the Nissan Stadium. The second top spot is EXO at the Jamsil Olympic Stadium with 72,000. And then the Seoul Olympic Stadium holds all the rest for TVXQ, Sotaji, and HOT.
Wow.
So those, basically it's like, if you can sell out the bigger stadiums, you'll make it onto that record.
Right.
Because the Nissan Stadium has 75,000 seats. The other ones has 72, and Seoul Olympic Stadium has 60.
Yeah.
We can cut out all that shit, actually. If you want to cut out the numbers, I won't.
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay, anyway. Then the other big deal for concert attendance is the Tokyo Dome.
Yes.
Because the Tokyo Dome is one of the bigger stadiums in Japan.
Yeah, I'm very curious about this because I know I asked you to look this up because it's like a thing that comes up a lot when you're talking about like bigger groups of being like the dome shows. Are they doing a dome tour?
Mm-hmm.
Like these Japanese domes are like a really big deal. Is it because they're really big? Like, or it's just
seems like no, actually,
okay.
Because the Nissan Stadium, which holds the record for the single largest audience, is 75,000.
Mm-hmm.
The Tokyo Dome only holds 55,000.
Oh, okay.
Only 55,000.
It's a lot of people.
But they're not necessarily the biggest. I think that they are just reputable and like it is a big deal to play there because like the Tokyo Dome, for example, hosts a lot of Western artists. Like Michael Jackson took 3 of his tours there. Like Mick Jagger, Bon Jovi, Celine, like Mariah.
So it's like playing Madison Square Garden or whatever. It's like the venues are like that's where you go when you've made it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's an important venue to play. And some K-pop world tours will just simply include a single performance at the Tokyo Dome, and some of them will specifically be dome tours, which means that they might play like multiple shows at each stadium, but there are 5 Japanese stadiums that are domes. And so if you do a dome tour, you are going to only play at those 5 stadiums.
Okay.
So it's basically like a Japanese tour that takes place at those 5 domes.
Okay.
They're just reputable venues.
Makes sense. I just know that like the SM artists that we follow like seem to be very into doing dome tours.
And there are only a few, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 groups that have sold out the Tokyo Dome, which are...
Whom are they?
TVXQ, known in Japan as Toho Shinki, Super Junior, Girls' Generation, JYJ, SHINee, 2PM, EXO, Big Bang, and G.O.D.
Wow. So literally mostly SM.
Yeah.
So yeah,
mostly SM artists. I think they promote their artists heavily in Japan. I mean, TVXQ was in Japan almost exclusively for like the last 4 years of their career.
Yeah.
Yeah. So since we're talking about Japan tours, let me think. Before I get into these like tour attendance records, most of the tour attendance records are Japanese dome tours. Yeah. So out of the top 11 most attended world tours of any K-pop artist, 6 of them belong to Big Bang or G-Dragon.
Wow.
3 of them are TVXQ, and the other 2 are EXO.
Wow.
So
only it's pretty much
three
just like
artists,
3 groups that are...
Yeah, 3 groups dominate the world.
Yeah. Dang.
So yeah, I mean, these audiences range from 570,000 is the number 11, which is
okay.
G-Dragon.
So that's like the least,
that's the lowest.
Yeah,
570,000 people across 8 countries,
and that was just for like
shows.
A single tour. Like G-Dragon did one tour,
one 2018 one of a kind G-Dragon tour, 570,000 people.
Damn.
I'm just going to jump all the way to number 1.
So if that's compare. The last
that's
one.
That's the least. The most is Big Bang's 2015 Made World Tour, which had 66 shows across 15 countries and a total combined audience of 1.5 million people.
Oh my God.
So almost twice what G-Dragon had.
That's crazy.
That is the most attended concert tour by a Korean act ever. In the history of Korean music, that is the most attended tour. I had to write down some reviews of it.
Okay,
because when they came to America, the New York Times called them smooth K-pop criminals that were an extreme, intense, and overwhelming K-pop carnival.
Overwhelming.
Explaining that it was terrifying how good each member was.
Wow. I really
Those are direct quotes
those are
from
good
concert
superlatives.
reviews.
I like them.
Mm-hmm. I love the terrifying how good each member is. The rest, like it's Big Bang, TVXQ, Big Bang, TVXQ, EXO, Big Bang, EXO, TVXQ, G-Dragon. Like that's the order, and they're all just ridiculous. Let's see, how many of those are Japanese tours? Almost all of TVXQ's. There's Big Bang's Japanese 5-dome tour, TVXQ's 5-dome tour, Big Bang's another 5-dome tour, TVXQ another 5-dome tour. Like, those are where they really get their big audiences because those domes, they have a lot of people and they'll play a lot of shows there. When TVXQ toured in 2013, that was the first time that a non-Japanese Asian artist completed the 5-dome tour. And then Big Bang is the first Korean artist to do 2 consecutive dome tours in 2013 and 2014, and they had a combined audience of over 1 million people.
Dang.
Yeah.
Now I'm just curious if you have it. If you don't have it written down, it's okay. But in that G-Dragon tour you talked about, you said that he went to
8 countries.
8 countries in 66 days or
27 shows.
27 shows. What's the average amount of shows that people do on a tour?
Great question. I would say the average would be 30.
Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But
if you're doing a 5-dome tour, it seems the average is 16. So you do a couple nights at each dome.
Right.
Because you're only playing at 5 stadiums. But then if you're doing a world tour, that ranges from 27 all the way to Big Bang's 2012 Alive tour had 48.
Oh, wow.
So, and then their Made World Tour, the one that has the highest, was 66 shows.
Yeah.
So it really depends. They can kind of do as many as they want.
Right. And I feel like tours can be weirdly indefinite, or it just sort of depends. I know for this current EXO tour, just as an example, what is this, Elysian, or however you say it, Elixian something?
Yeah.
But that they...
Alexion?
Yeah.
I don't know. Even Baekhyun forgot the name of the
tour.
But
it was basically that they
on
were
the tour. He couldn't remember the name of the tour.
But I know that it was the tour started and it was we're doing four nights in Seoul. That's the start of the tour. And then a month later, they're like, here are our Japanese dates. And then like a month later, they were like, we're going to the Philippines. And it's just like, they sort of just like, as the year goes on, they keep adding dates.
Planned
and
as
the
they
tour
go.
just keeps going.
Yeah, because these tours, like some of them, like the Made World Tour was only in 2015, but then some of Big Bang's other tours went from like 2012 to 2013.
So
like,
they're just
they
doing
can last
that show, quote, like those songs or whatever, that show.
that
forever.
performance.
Okay.
For pretty much as long as they want, I guess.
Well, that's
yeah.
really cool.
But yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of like fun. Researching this episode sort of led me down a rabbit hole of like watching different funny moments. Because I tried to look up like the most iconic solos or like special stages. It's hard to find.
But I think those are just like very personal to people. And it's
Yeah.
like you know, like you have your favorite like solo stage, but there's, you know, I think we did mention some, like I think Key's like dominatrix solo stage is pretty iconic. Like there's a couple that like, you know, have transcended their groups or whatever.
Definitely.
But, you know, it's just people having a good time.
I highly recommend, like, I personally own several K-pop concert DVDs, and you and I have watched quite a few K-pop concert
Because of
DVDs as well.
beautiful souls who put them on YouTube.
Yeah, so I highly recommend that if you are like really into a group, see if you can find one of their concert DVDs.
If your group
on
has
YouTube.
ever done a concert DVD, like get a hold of it. They're really they're so fun to watch.
If you live in a town that has a Chinatown, I guarantee you that they will have a store that sells them, because that's where I bought mine.
Yeah.
And they had it was like floor to ceiling, wall to wall, like all kinds of DVDs.
Yeah.
So look up those like dusty little video marts and you'll find gold.
Find some cool stuff.
But this did send me down a rabbit hole of like funny moments that happened in concerts, because a lot of times, like, obviously they're live. So like
People fall down.
People fall. Like I watched a really funny compilation of like, it was literally just called something like funny concert K-pop moments or something. Like, I don't know. It was one of those dumb compilations. And there's one that really made me laugh where, Super Junior was performing, and they're all standing on like so there's a platform in the stage that is going to rise up, right? And so when they start singing this song, they're like all standing in a circle, like facing out of the circle to face the audience. And then like the circle that they're standing in is going to be a platform that rises. But Heechul was not standing correctly in the circle. Oh no, there's no injury. Okay. None at all. But he's standing literally right in front of where the platform will rise from. So as it starts to rise, he doesn't, because everyone's facing out, he doesn't notice that the rest of his group
is rising
behind him. And he's just standing there dramatically because it's not his turn to sing, and he's standing very seriously and like staring out into the crowd. Meanwhile, the rest of Super Junior is rising above him, and one of the members next to him is trying to be like, psst, like before it gets too high to get him to like step up, and you can hear fangirls in the audience being like, Heechul, Heechul, and he just doesn't notice at all. It was really funny. But there are really scary moments of people falling in holes and stuff that just appear on stage. And then there's funny goofs like when Tiffany pulled out her own hair extension and then didn't know what to do with it, so she just threw it on the floor. And then another member of Girls' Generation came by and was like, ugh, what is this? Yeah, funny shit happens.
Yeah, it's always fun. K-pop concerts are great.
K-pop concerts are great. They make them do funny stuff. Like, I don't know. They goof around a lot with each other during their concerts. And
then usually everyone cries at the end. And you get to feel real emotional and stuff, and it's fun.
And they pour water on each other, and they hit each other with toys.
Or if it's someone's birthday, cake gets brought out. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Or if you're Big Bang, they'd usually take turns taking each other's shirts off. That's what I found.
Each other? Taking each other's shirts
off. Like
they strip each other.
Yes, they strip each other.
Fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Big Bang. That's how they get those big audiences. They take each other's shirts off.
That's really cool. Well, I mean, I think that's like probably basically like it for concerts. We just wanted to talk about this today because we were at one last night, which was fun. And also this week, BTS announced their like upcoming tour. So I know that like all the poor ARMY all around the world are like flipping out, like, are we going to get our tickets? Well, like, we're wishing good juju for all y'all guys.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, that's the worst part of concerts is, can you get in?
Because as we were saying, like, they're sort of planned as they go, so it's hard to get tickets in advance. Like, a lot of times they'll announce events or concert dates like just a few weeks before the concert actually happens. So I was
very surprised that this BTS one, because I think it's not till September, but they like already announced it, which like feels crazy because I know like, you know, with the Shiny tour that we had to miss last year because of my wedding, they like announced that date like a month before, and it was like, are you kidding me? A month? How am I going to how do I get myself together? So, yeah, but they're always a good time. And if you ever get a chance to go to a K-pop concert, like, you should.
They're super fun.
They're very fun.
Or watch them on a DVD.
Yeah. At the very least, get a hold of a concert DVD because they're just like a good experience, like 3 hours of like of beautifully filmed fun.
Yeah.
Because while there's plenty of like, you know, depending on the venue and the rules, like some concerts will get like fan cammed, you know, like recorded by fans in the audience, which like can be fun. That's often where a lot of the like silly stuff, like people tripping or hitting each other with toys or whatever, those get caught by fans.
Yeah.
But sometimes those videos like suck quality wise. So like if there's a beautiful concert DVD, like then you can really see it and it looks
professional
real nice.
Camera, all that stuff.
Yeah,
but all those compilation videos you'll find on YouTube of like 17 moments I think about a lot, or like BTS being silly. That's all shit from concerts. Mostly. Like just shaky fan cams of them like slapping each other's butts or whatever.
Yeah, or someone threw a weird toy on the stage and then
I just noticed in my notes that one of the things I forgot about one of the things I was going to surprise you with, which is about a VCR. You know that performance of My Lady that you hate?
Yeah.
So that, while all the members are singing on stage before they get on the floor, has like in the background a VCR of like a girl getting ready, right? And then she's the face that's like looking down at them as they dry hump the floor. That's Seulgi from Red Velvet.
Oh my God, really?
Yep.
Wow.
And the entire VCR is just her. It's pre-debut, and it's just her getting ready in like a fancy dress and like putting her makeup on, and then she just leans over and watches them hump a mirror.
Wow. That's great. That's a perfect note to end this concert discussion on, I think. Okay. We'll be right back with our random game. All right. We're back, and we got a like kind of newer group in the random
one that
game
we're
this
familiar
week.
with.
Yes, I at least have a lot to say. And that group is KARD, K-A-R-D.
With a period between every letter.
And this is interesting because this is a co-ed group.
Yes, a co-ed group, a 4-member co-ed group, 2 girls, 2 boys, from DSP Media, a smaller record label.
Yeah. So the members, the boys, are JSEF and BM,
which stands for Big Matt.
Big Matt. And the girls are Somin and Jiwoo. And Somin was actually in a Japanese girl group before she was in KARD.
She got shuffled around quite a bit, actually, because she was in that Japanese girl group Pretty. And then she joined the Kara project, where she competed to be a new member of Kara but came in second, and then actually did debut with a different group from DSP Media, the same label that does KARD, but it was a girl group called April, and then she left the group
and then they put her in KARD.
And joined KARD instead.
And the interesting thing about KARD, or what was supposed to be interesting about KARD, and as it's gone on, we've sort of seen it not come to fruition, but the initial concept of this group was supposed to be that they would be these 4 members and that they would have a rotating secret hidden member, and that every track would like guest feature somebody. So their first single had this girl, Youngji, who did win that Kara project show and became a member of Kara. They had her as the hidden KARD.
Which basically just means that she was featured as a vocalist on the song, but did not appear in the music video or any of the performances.
Yeah.
Like, she's not a part of the dance, but her voice is featured on the track.
And that was supposed to, like, they initially said that was going to be, like,
Their thing,
but it sort of never happened. And also, am I wrong in that I don't know if I'll be able to confirm this, but like, are they official? Like, is it one of those things where they're like technically officially like not even debuted or whatever? Like, because I feel like when they put them out, they were like, we're going to do like this many tracks and then it will be like the Card project. I don't remember.
I don't know if they've had their like official debut.
Oh, they officially debuted. Okay, they officially debuted on July 19th, 2017, but their first song came out back in December 2016. Yes. So they put out like 3 singles or something before they officially debuted.
Yes.
With they Ola Ola, I think, was their official debut.
We could probably look it up. Did their official debut come with an actual... Oh, yeah, it did come with an actual album.
Yeah, because they did Oh Nana, Don't Recall, and Rumor, and then Ola Ola was like the actual debut song.
Because that's the title of their first EP, is Ola Ola.
Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like the general consensus, I know for me and for you, and the general consensus in the K-pop world is that like we're all a little disappointed with Card. Because when they came out, it was so exciting. Like, co-ed groups are really rare. Mm-hmm. They almost never happen. Mm-hmm. And that first single, Oh Na Na, was great.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my God, this is going to be so fun. And then they just sort of put the same song out over and over again.
Yeah, I liked Oh Nana and I liked Don't Recall, and then every other song that came out after that, it just all like the choreography is very similar. Mm-hmm. They kind of like always do this little like
tropical house thing. And they do like bouncy knee island dancing, but they're not great at it.
No, and the songs all sound the same, and it was very disappointing. I feel like they were very anticlimactic.
Yeah.
And the way that they were promoted as a group, I think, didn't do them any favors, because as soon as they released these singles, pretty much they like immediately went on tour and have been on tour ever since. They've been on
tour forever, which is probably the angle that like the company is getting at now, is that they dropped this whole like hidden Card nonsense and they're like, let's just like make money all over the world, because they are very popular. Like, I'm not trying to speak for everybody. Like, plenty of people like really, really clearly really like Card, because I follow them all on Instagram and they've been on tour forever. Like,
yeah, they've been on tour for a really long time, and they really do go all over the world. Like, they perform a lot in Europe and in North America
and South America, like
a lot in South America.
Yeah, so they're all over the place. And I mean, they've only been around like a year, so you never know what could happen. But I personally have been slightly disappointed.
I have as well.
But let's see what music video we're going to get to watch. Don't Recall.
All right.
It has 42 million views, which is double the amount of all of their other videos, which is pretty crazy.
And it only came out a year ago.
Is this right? Because I feel like, okay. Oh, no. Okay. I just wanted to make sure, because I was like, the first one really isn't? Nope. Okay. All right. Let's do it. Here is Card, Don't Recall. Okay, so we got the cards.
So like playing cards
are definitely like part of the theme.
Yeah.
Their fan club is called Hidden Card.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so the fans are also the Hidden Card. I don't know.
All right. So like when this song came out, I thought it was really cool. Like, I really like the choreography in this dance, and the song itself I find very catchy. But this is their sound. Like, this is what all of their songs sound and look like.
Yes. So in this video, we got like, they're all wearing white turtlenecks, and there's like chandeliers and leather chairs, and
it's a box video. They're just standing in different boxes. One of the boxes is where the choreography happens, and they're all wearing white. And then the other boxes are like shattered mirrors or ornate wallpaper, and they're like standing, sitting, staring into space dramatically. And that's pretty much all that happens in this video.
I hated this dance.
I like this dance.
It looks like they look like monkeys.
I know, they do look
themselves.
like little monkeys. But I like it.
Yeah, that's fine. I liked this song.
Me too. I was so excited when this came out. This was like their second song.
Yeah. this was still like quote unquote pre-debut.
I will say I don't feel like they do a good job of featuring the boys equally.
Do you feel like BM gets all the credit?
Yes.
And JSF doesn't get any?
I do. Mostly because I feel like a lot of times in their choreography, they will put BM in front of, what's the other one's name?
JSF. It's like Joseph with no
O. And Big Matt is big. Like, he's
big.
so tall. And JSF is smaller than he is. So when you put him in behind him, you like
he
can't
disappears.
see him at all.
Yeah. The weirdest thing about this is they also put out an English version of this song, and I've only heard the English version like once, and I've heard this version like 50 times, and I still think all the plans that we had and the memories, like the English parts are like forever in my head, even though I only heard the English version like one time.
I didn't remember anything about the English version, but I know I watched it.
It's exactly the same as this one.
Yeah.
With other
maybe I didn't watch all of it because I realized it was exactly the same and was like, I don't care. This one's good enough. But I really like the way that they, like, I think what's cool about Card is that because they are a co-ed group, they can have more fun with their choreography. Like, they do incorporate partner dancing.
Not enough, though.
Not enough.
Like, you'd think that they would
do
constantly be doing cool partner dances. And
but in their first two, I feel like they did. And then since then, they like have
sort
really
of stopped.
Mm-hmm. But Onana is mostly a partner dance.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's Card. I definitely recommend that song or Onana.
I like those two.
I want to say, like, as just like a warning, like, never watch the You and Me music video. Don't do it. It's so disturbing. You're looking at me with blank eyes because it keeps leaving your mind.
Which one is
the music video where the boys are dead the whole time?
Oh!
See?
God damn it. I hate that one.
You always forget about it.
Stop bringing it up!
Right? I just wanted to bring it up to tell people if they were like, oh, I should like go through a Card's music video collection after this.
So
don't watch that music video. It's so disturbing. It's not okay.
I'm a mess now. I ripped my headphones off because I didn't want you saying the words in my ears.
But you were staring at me so blankly.
I know I was. It's because I never remember the name of the song.
That's okay. Anyway, so that was Card. There you go. Recommendation time. Okay, I will go first. My recommendation is probably not a surprise because if you follow us on Twitter or me on Twitter or anything like that, I haven't been able to like do anything but talk about this new Pentagon song, Shine. It's the greatest song I've ever heard. It's perfect. I can't stop playing it. Like, I think it might have some kind of like subliminal something in it that's just like, play me over and over again. Because it's not just me. Like, everybody that we talk to on our K-pop chat days with the K-pop cast crew and like a bunch of our listeners, like everybody is like full on obsessed with this song now. It's so good. It's so good. And it has like really precious lyrics that I really like as a person who like just lived constant unrequited love in middle school. Like, I always find unrequited love songs like very precious. And this one just has really cute lyrics. And I am now a full-blown Pentagon stan. I've had like a really long week. And now like 10, I've opened my heart for 10 more boys. I can't believe it. But like, I love them so much. So yeah, my recommendation is Pentagon Shine. Get on the train. It's great here.
Do you recommend the music video or a dance?
I think the dance practice or the choreography video or whatever they call it is probably my recommendation because the dance is so cute. But the music video does showcase the dance enough. I feel like both are good. But yeah, Pentagon Shine.
Yay!
Get into it.
I wasn't really sure what to recommend, but because I am a fairly newly minted carrot, I will also choose to recommend something from my new group, 17. which is a music video that like I don't know the name of the song because it's written in Korean. It says 13 and then what does it say, Shannon?
That means does that mean month? Chum? Like 13-month dance? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't know what it was. I don't know why it was made. I don't know why it exists or what it is. All I know is that it's beautiful. It's called, the title of it is like MV17 SVT Performance Team, because 17 is made up of 3 different units or teams, right? Performance team, which is like the dance team, and then the vocal team and the hip hop team. And each team, in addition to like putting out group music videos, obviously, for like the whole group, they also put out individual songs and performances and music videos for each team.
As their little teams.
And so I'm going to recommend a video from the performance team, which is basically just like this gorgeous contemporary dance. It only features the 4 members of the performance team, which are Hoshi, June, The 8, and Dino. And it's, as someone who loves to watch dance, it's just beautiful.
It's spectacular. It really is.
Stunningly incredible. They're such phenomenal dancers. Because
and they're wearing like white. They're all wearing like white. And they're just
flowy, and it's dramatic, and they're like in front of like a library that looks like, the first time I watched it, I thought it was in Boston. Some kind. Like, yeah, it's beautiful. They're like laying on top of each other, and they're just, it's gorgeous. I love them.
That's a really good recommendation. Love it.
Great.
Okay, well, that's another episode in the can. We did it. I powered through. Thank you. Cold medicine. All right. If you want to follow us on social media, we'd certainly love that. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at AMA Kpop Pod. As I mentioned before, all of the videos from the concert we went to last night are on the Instagram forever, saved in the highlights, so you can watch that whenever you're listening to this. All the links for all of our episodes, everything we talk about, we link at amakpoppod.tumblr.com. And if you want to send us an email, we love getting emails, amakpoppod@gmail.com. And that's it. And we will see you next week.
Yes, next week we'll be talking about special projects and collaborations. So we talked about like subunits last week, and next week we'll talk about projects that have multiple members of different groups.
Yes. Great. That will be really fun. All right. See y'all then.
Bye.
Bye. Chongyan, you're our inspiration.